Howdy, people, and welcome to the third Chugcratic Extracurricular Seminar. Joining me for this edition is none other than the headmaster of the School of Athenia, the man behind the main podcast, Kit Catastrophe.
Howdy do.
Hello. So, presumably you have seen these extracurriculars before.
Yep, I've watched both of them so far.
And in them, we talk. Someone wants in on the action.
Yeah, he does, but I can't put him in. He really just wants to be in my lap, but I can't put him in my lap because then he'll just chew on my headphone cord.
So for this seminar, we are discussing figures that Hasbro went over in their 21st of March live stream, that being Legacy United Wave 2.
Hell yeah.
So Char and I have already discussed a few of these in the second extracurricular. And just to get this out of the way, one of the figures that Hasbro talked about, Origins Wheeljack, we actually went into quite a bit of detail on that in episode 4 of the main podcast. So
That was ages ago.
I know. I mean, do we have any updated thoughts on that?
Not really. Still probably going to buy it.
Same. In which case, we shall crack on to the figures that you'll presumably find at mass retail. And since you weren't around for the second extracurricular kit, you have the floor to discuss what you think of Legacy United Core Class Cheetor and Voyager Class Silverbolt and Starscream. Cybertron Universe Starscream, that is.
All right, so Cheetor, he's a core class. He's $10. So I'm probably going to get him. He might look pretty funky next to Tasmania Kid. Silverbolt, he's a Beast Wars dude. I'm going to buy him. Hope they make a quick switch at some point. Starscream. So you mentioned that I had some pretty dissavory opinions about this toy on the last extracurricular, I believe.
Yeah.
Namely about his shade of gray. It's just when the in-hand photos first dropped, the gray just looked really, really cheap. It's like how people describe it, like Games Workshop gray. I didn't like it because Starscream, he has a lot more red on his Cybertron design than is on this toy. So I just think the lack of red, especially on his legs, just makes him look really bland and unfinished. But otherwise, disregarding the lack of red, he looks fantastic. And if everything, ID Armed already has one because his store got it early or something. And based on everything he's saying about it, I'm probably going to love this toy.
Well, like I said, I'm holding out for a potential sky warp from this new mold for Cybertron Starscream.
He'll be a damn sight better than Cybertron Skywarp. I had that one as a kid, and it sucked.
Yeah, kind of crappy quality control issue on that one.
Honestly, my copy had perfect QC. The toy itself just sucks.
Although, like I said before, I have my doubts whether they'll do Skywarp because he used a different mold in the actual Cybertron toy line. The most I see happening is them recoloring this as Skywarp as a potential war within homage.
I'd be okay either way.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't care how they market it. I just want a Skywarp. And I imagine Thundercracker will look nice too. Cheetor, big surprise in that it's one of the this is the first Beast Machines update within the Legacy trilogy period.
The first Beast Machines update in 10 years, I think.
You know what? You might be right. I got to look back on that one.
There might be some like convention exclusive I might be forgetting, but the last one I'm pretty sure was Tankor and Thrilling 30.
Yeah, that was the standout one. But yeah, and Silverbolt, I'm damn well looking forward to that one.
I hope they do his universe colors.
I hope they do Windraiser.
2-pack?
What? Windraiser and Silverbolt universe version?
Yep.
Perhaps not that, but I'll be getting Windraiser on his own. Assuming they do him, please. Sandstorm needs the company. Right, with that being said, we shall move on to the other figures, the 4 figures that were discussed in Hasbro's live stream, starting with another Another bot from the Infernac universe, Shard, who, much to mine and presumably everyone else's surprise, is female.
Well, I'm not that surprised. It's a literal who. I thought the bike one was a girl when it was revealed. But yeah, Shard is honestly pretty key now. I really like it. I was not enthused whatsoever about the first two rock dudes. So and it's just nice to see like it's a crystal helicopter and it looks like Age of Extinction Slash. What is there not to like about this?
If nothing else, this looks far more lively than Magnius.
Roadkill is more lively than Magnius.
I'm still convinced that they got Boulder Crashers and Magnius's name backwards because they named the one without lava patterns Magnius.
Well, I'm pretty sure Magnius is supposed to be made of obsidian, which is an igneous rock. So the name still fits.
I guess, but I don't know. It's just strange. I currently have Boulder Crash. He's pretty neat. The only issue I have is with that whole spinal piece that interferes with the transformation.
Yeah.
I take it you don't have
Nope.
either one just yet?
Nope. I probably never will. I'm just not interested. I'm only interested in in this one. Just because it looks so cool.
Something that was brought up, I think, in the stream itself was the fact that the way that she's molded is supposed to be an homage to the crystal monster Chaos from, well, the Generation 1 episode title of the same name.
Oh yeah, it's been ages since I watched season 3, but I sort of see it. I don't really know why they'd reference that though.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like they'll reference just about anything they can these days.
I guess, but it's very esoteric.
This is one that I will be picking up. I've currently passed on Magnius until a potential more interesting redeco shows up. I still like to see an ice-themed version of one of the 3 molds that have been revealed so far.
Yeah, if they did an ice themed Magnius, I might pick that up if I found it on clearance.
This one to me looks like an ice-themed redeco would work because of its sharper texturing.
I'd like to see this in purple. Purple and pink.
In reference to what?
Nothing. I just think it would look pretty in those colors.
So yeah, I potentially be picking this one up. Next in line, we have Cyberverse Universe Chromia.
Chromia. Yeah, I remember when this was revealed, or rather, I remember when it was leaked, and it was like, oh, Chromia is going to be a Prowl repaint. And when I heard that, I wasn't very enthused about it. But seeing the pics in hand, like that were revealed not long after that, I've been convinced I will get this on clearance.
I am not convinced. I think this is one of the very few occasions where I'm perhaps the most cynical of us 4 towards this particular figure, because I just don't think the mold suits her that well. Especially when I know what reaction I'm going to get, but all I'm thinking is Legacy RC is right there. You know, it would have been ideal for a new like Cyberverse Universe Chromia. I know that mold has been redecoed quite a few times. I know you'd be essentially redecoing one blue fembot biker into another. Not that that stopped them the last time. And I know that it's not that popular of a mold, but I guess to me, my biggest issue is that mold, the Legacy RC one that is, has design cues that fit Cyberverse Universe Chromia better than the animated Prowl one.
Obviously, I disagree. But like, first of all, RC sucks. Second of all, I don't know. I think the more chunky proportions of the Prowl mold suit Cyberverse's style a lot better than RC's does. Of course, I haven't seen Cyberverse. I have no interest in Cyberverse. So, but this, like, if I blur my eyes and just focus on the silhouette, I'm like, yes, that sort of looks like Cyberverse. Whereas with RC, I can't do the same. It's just too spindly and awkward. Whereas this, it looks smooth and chunky and lowercase a animated. But I don't know. Out of all of the official Chromia figures that there have ever been, I think this one looks the best.
I mean, I guess this might be one that grows on me over time. At the very least, I guess you could argue that it's a case of not the greatest homage, but a decent toy in and of itself.
I just think of it as this is just any version of Chromia you really want it to be. Because I don't have any attachment to Cyberverse. I just think it's a cool looking Chromia.
I'm also not particularly big on how the bright blue is applied on this.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I just wish there was like a little more paint to really tie it in. Like maybe paint those chevrons on her forearms in that same color. But I think it fits. You know, regular like a dull sandy blue and a bright turquoise. I think that works.
Yeah, the mold itself, I of course have the animated universe Prowl to begin with. It's a fine toy, but I've gone on record saying that I have issues with the bike mode.
Yeah, the bike mode's not great. Really isn't that great.
Because the shoulders are just there and the thighs are blatantly visible.
Yeah.
The way the original transformed, I keep saying this again and again, and I'm sticking by my guns on this one. The way the original Prowl mold transformed vastly cleaned up the bike mode way better than this does.
I mean, you can't top perfection. The only reason I don't have one for myself is just because he's expensive. As aftermarket prices are insane. He's like $50.
Would you prefer to get that or the Samurai Armor Prowl?
I mean, his samurai armor can do more stuff, but I wouldn't say no to both. Because
Something like,
if I understand the original one, the samurai one doesn't do the shuriken thing.
no, I don't believe that it does. I mean,
The
I've
shur
never handled that version, but I don't think it does.
the shuriken thing is important to me. So well, I mean, you know, that's like one of the things I want Prowl to be able to do. So if the samurai one can't do it, then you know I gotta get both. You know.
Something that I've been thinking about in regards to this mold, a character that I wondered if this would work for would be Override, not the Cybertron Override that everyone knows about. This is the Generation 1 Trigger Bot.
Um, I could see it. Um, I mean, the trigger bots are so obscure. Do they really need their own mold? You know. So if they wanted to repaint this in red and blue, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It would probably look pretty cool. They'd they'd have to take some liberties with the color scheme, just because, or like the layout of the color scheme, just because you know the cowl became the feet on the original one, and I don't really know how the rest of the toy worked, but you know it wouldn't, putting the vehicle mode colors wouldn't translate to a one-to-one robot, and putting the robot colors wouldn't translate to a one-to-one vehicle. So I'd be interested to see how they'd handle an override.
I tell you what, though, despite the fact that the transformation scheme is fairly similar, I would not be down for this mold as Armada Sideways.
Yeah, I think it would be passable, but you know, speaking
I'm
of, I have one on my desk right now. But I'll
oh,
save that. I'll probably save my thoughts on that for the recent purchases segment on the next proper episode.
fair enough. I mean, I'm just saying, if he doesn't have his like Headmaster mini cons, then it's just not the same.
Yeah.
If they were to do a new Armada Sideways, he'd probably be Deluxe Plus. At the Voyager price point.
You know how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, if that's what it takes to get a fully articulated sideways that retains the gimmicks of the original, I'm not exactly going to complain. Not entirely, anyway.
I'd complain a little bit.
So, with Chromia out of the way, the next one is Generation 1 Universe Gears, another addition to the mini bots.
Sorry, I'm about to fall ill. Yeah.
Not a
I,
fan.
yeah, not really. Like, it just doesn't work for me. I don't really like it. The vehicle mode doesn't even look that good. His chest is hanging off the back. This is not what I wanted when we first saw that Kingdom. God, what's the word?
Just poster. Kingdom
Yeah, the
poster.
Kingdom poster. Like this is. I would have. I would have honestly been okay with a Brawn retool. It just doesn't work, and I can't really tell you why. The vehicle mode just looks off. I respect them for keeping the head as chunky as it is. That's kind of neat, but I don't know. They couldn't even transform it right in the stock photo. Look at that tire.
Yeah, I know that's what I said. Because in that same, it was episode 5, I think it was. Neither you nor Char expressed a lot of enthusiasm towards this one, and I think even Char said that Gears is not a design that he's particularly, he doesn't particularly like that design to begin with,
Yeah,
like the
I don't
character
blame him.
design.
It's just it's just like if I can find it for like 10 or 12 bucks, maybe I'll bite, but otherwise this is a skip for me.
I think he looks. I think he looks okay for now. My only issue is that the wheels seem a bit too thin.
Yeah. I know someone who already has it and he says it's all right, so or he described it as tolerable.
No doubt that this mold will be redecoed at least twice. One into, well, redecoed and retooled, I should say. Once into Swerve.
I mean, it'll probably sell well cuz people like Swerve.
The other is, of course, the GoBot Smallfoot.
That one's already confirmed. I think so.
Yes, that will be in a 3-pack with Pathfinder and Treads.
Honestly, I think I'll skip that too. Warpath and Cosmos aren't that good either.
Have any of these these new mini bot figures that they've been doing since the War for Cybertron trilogy been that popular with you guys?
I like Braun. I really like Braun. He's a little small, but his transformation's really cool. Um, if Gears has a really interesting transformation, I might end up getting him just because like that's the thing that sells me on figures most of the time these days. Uh, so I'll at least keep my mind open a little, but because I like Braun, I like Braun.
This one, Gears, this one has a gimmick, I believe, where you flip up his chest in reference to the episode Changing Gears.
Oh, that's why it's packaged separately in the box.
Well, yeah, because in that episode, they opened his chest and removed his, presumably, I think it's his personality component.
Yeah.
They didn't, of course, they didn't really work in such such a small accessory with this one. It's just that the chest opens up. It either opens up or is removable.
Oh, to further answer your question from earlier, I am still after Beachcomber because I think he looks amazing, and Huffer's all right. I have 4 of the mold, so if that tells you anything.
So you have Huffer, Pipes, Puffer, and Road Ranger.
That's right. I am Hasbro's strongest soldier.
Yeah, but as for me, I think he looks okay. But this might be another one for the clearance pile for me.
Yeah, that's how it is for an awful lot of figures for me these days.
Which just leaves one figure left in Legacy United Wave 2, and that is what many people are considering one of the better Voyager Plus triple changers, that being Sandstorm.
Yeah, he looks really fun. But I have seen a size comparison against the Thrilling 30 version, and damn, he is small. So that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. $50 for that. I don't know. He looks like he's probably going to be the most fun leader class in a couple years. I like that he has a string for his cage. Um, but yeah, all of his modes look really cool. His helicopter mold looks like a hot dog bun. His dune buggy mold's cool, and his robot mode just looks. I'm sorry, I'm just repeating myself a lot. He just looks cool, and he's probably
Yeah,
gonna feel better than the Thrilling 30 version.
yeah. These days, I try to with leader class in particular. I try to get them on clearance when I can, especially when it comes to these Voyager Plus figures.
Yeah, it's not my favorite trend in Chug.
Well, I mean, it's because they're trying to maintain scale as much as possible these days.
For better and mostly for worse. That's also probably the reason why I don't like the mini bots so much. I just wish they were, I just want to throw accuracy out the window and be like, okay, just make it deluxe gears and don't bother making him short. Just make him deluxe size, you know?
I suppose. I mean, there was a sort of charm back in the day where they had released a bunch of mini bots in the Universe 2008 toy line. They're just fun little small scale figures.
I preferred the 2010 era approach where like Warpath was a proper deluxe. He turned into a good sized tank. Who else did they do? Classics Bumblebee. I mean, he's short, but I mean, he's still very substantial. I mean, it's technically Movieverse, but they turned Sea Spray into a Voyager. Universe Power Glide's huge, as he should be. I loved stuff like that, where they're like, okay, this vehicle mode's big, let's make him a big dude. I liked it. And now it's just like, yeah, they were short in the cartoon, they're gonna be short on the shelf too. Same price. Puts a bad taste in my mouth.
And of course, we'll be getting this sort of thing again with Springer in Studio Series.
That's gonna be a skip for me. I am not interested whatsoever. Because I mean, Siege Springer, he already looks movie accurate. Why bother changing that? And
Well, well, I mean, another reason might be to get a version of the character that actually has stable feet.
and then you got Thrilling 30 Springer, which is just an amazing toy on its own. Man, I'm just not interested in another Springer. I don't care.
But Sandstorm, though, I mean, for what it's worth, they did try to work in as much play with this one as possible.
Yeah, he looks very, what's the word, involved. Because his two alternate modes are both spot on and very different from each other. So it'll be interesting to see how things go with him. He might be the best triple changer since Astro Train. Probably even better than Astro Train.
Probably. For this one, they have currently gone with the toy accurate head with the mouth plate. No doubt there'll be, well, it'll either be a package refresh or they'll probably redeco this into another character and have him have the mouth instead.
I didn't know he had a mouth.
Well, in the cartoon, he does anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in 10 years. Probably more.
But yeah, the robot mode captures the various design cues of Sandstorm with the helicopter tail fin above his head. And, the dune buggy mode looks a little rough, like from a side profile, but, it's passable for a triple changer, I suppose. And the helicopter mode's pretty cool. I'd say that's the most playable mode of the three, since the dune buggy's roll cage becomes an actual cage.
I wonder if the string is tied to a winch or something.
It's got to be like there's gotta be some sort of mechanism in there.
Do we
Um,
know if his tires are plastic or rubber? Because I honestly can't tell from these photos.
I couldn't tell you on that one. Does plastic or rubber towels make or break a figure for you?
No, it's just a nice bonus. Because like I would probably gush over Beachcomber if I had one, even without the rubber tires. The rubber tires just make him that much cooler.
I'm surprised you didn't hop on Legacy Beachcomber right away just for his accessory.
Well, he was impossible to find. He
Fair.
sold it. He was sold out everywhere online, and he never showed up in my state.
I bet
Probably gonna end up getting him from Japan.
I bet you're hoping that they redeco him just so you have multiple bird accessories.
Yes, give me the flock. I
I
will
mean,
be the Bird King.
the thing is, obviously there's the G2 version of Beachcomber, but also they're apparently going to retool. Well, not apparently. There's a possibility that they might retool Beachcomber into Ruckus for the Mayhem Attack Squad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ruckus would work so much, but I mean, I'll wait to see how he looks. I just don't like Ruckus's color scheme that very, very well.
Well, Ruckus will either be a retool of Beachcomber or the Sure Shot that now got pushed back until Wave 5.
He exists after all.
God, like, if Point Blank is ID's favorite target master from the 1987 lineup, like of the three new original characters, Sure Shot is mine, I think. And of course, they pushed him back a little bit. Well, I mean, I suppose it beats him being bloody cancelled. And the other
Oh,
one they pushed.
also that core class Dinobot
Yes,
is exists.
yes, I that was also meant for Wave 2, but that's now going to be the one of the last wave figures of Legacy United.
Good luck
Good luck, what?
finding him.
No,
You know how final wave figures are.
I'm more thinking good luck in terms of how they'll pull that design off. Going back to Sandstorm, after him, the triple changes they have left, aside from the upcoming Studio Series Spring, are Octane and Broadside.
I really hope Octane turns out good. He's my favorite Decepticon triple changer. God, if he ends up like Blitzwing, I'm gonna be so mad.
Well, I mean, we don't even know if they're doing Octane yet because he's not in the current listings for that upcoming Generations Prime toy line.
Come on, Hasbro these days is all about finishing like little teams. They'll do them eventually.
And of course, as for Broadside, they better redo him after how his Titans Return toy turned out.
It'd be so funny if it was worse.
Do you think they, in that respect, do you think they would do him at leader or commander class?
Oh boy. I think they would do commander class just so that you could put a jet on top of him and have it fit.
You know, that would make sense because they're doing new figures of the aerial bots.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. God, that would actually work out pretty well for the play pattern.
Not Titan class though, and especially they better bloody not make him a retool of Tidal Wave.
Well, I mean, if Tidal Wave's aircraft carrier is only 1/3 of his overall size, he'd be the aircraft carrier itself would be too small. So I imagine the aircraft carrier on Tidal Wave would be smaller than a hypothetical commander class Broadside.
But nevertheless, going back to Sandstorm, I like the look of this one. Might be the star of Legacy United Wave 2 alongside Beast Wars Universe Silverbolt.
Yeah, overall, this wave is honestly really strong. Really, out of the entirety of Wave 1, there's only one figure that I actually want, and that's Chase. Whereas with this one, there's really only one figure I don't want, and that's like Gears. unless I'm forgetting someone.
And you know what? If I'm not mistaken, Magmatron will be out soon.
I already have him on pre-order.
I might just pick him up at a store.
Yeah, that's not an option for me.
Yeah, your area somehow seems to get figures extremely late for some reason.
Most of the time, never at all. Louisiana just does not have Transformers fans, apparently. I might be the only one. I'm the only Transformer fan in my state.
After this, in terms of Legacy United, I believe the figures that are due for reveal in Wave 3. I have the wave breakdown for July 2024, which will be Wave 3. We've got Core Rock 3, Deluxe RID Sideburn, Deluxe Cybertron Hotshot, Deluxe Rock 3, a package refresh of Legacy Strongarm, Voyager Vector Prime, and Leader Armada Galvatron. I don't plan on getting the Leader Armada Galvatron, and I'm on the fence, like, depending on how he turns out, I'm on the fence about this new Cybertron Vector Prime they're doing.
I must say, after the seemingly banger Wave 2, it's nice to go back to a wave where I only want like one or two toys.
So the last stream that Hasbro are going to do revolves around just various Transformers merchandise, which I don't particularly feel like covering. However, there is apparently a convention on the 30th of this month. We'll be seeing the Studio Series reveals, and that could potentially be the next extracurricular.
Yes, I can't wait for the mid.
So with that, I think we shall end the recording here. Thanks for coming on to my channel again, Kit.
It was my pleasure.
Hopefully we got a few more collabs in the works in terms of reviews.
I know we've had one in the pipeline for like a year now.
Well, hopefully we can start working on that before the year is up. Knock on wood. Thank you. And with that, this is the end of the extracurricular. This has been Kit Catastrophe.
And this has been Runestone.
Saying take care till all are one, and
goodbye.
And transform and roll out.
Oh, that was my second guess.
All right. Take care.